Today we are going to continue our presentation about ArcGIS 2021, and we will start with ArcGIS Pro. Many of you have a long experience and fun journey using ArcMap, and I'm one of you. I've started using ArcMap since 1999. ArcMap has reached end of its journey. It's going to be supported for some time, but if you haven't started using ArcGIS Pro, it's time to do so. And the demo my colleague is going to show in a couple of minutes should convince you. So what's about ArcGIS Pro? What's specific here? It's Esri flagship desktop product for GIS professionals. It's designed to work in 2D and 3D. It's integrated with WebGIS. It can do analysis. It can do sophisticated cartography. It can do data editing. It can do a lot of things GIS professionals have been asking for. ArcGIS Pro is evolving rapidly, couple of releases a year. In less than a month, you should receive the latest version of ArcGIS Pro 2.8. It will provide lots of improvements in terms of performance, stability, and as well things that many of you have been asking for a long time, like additional BIM formats like IFC, that Chris just mentioned, server-side data processing like spatial data processing closer to the place where data lives, in the databases, and so on. And here, there are many more exciting things on the roadmap. ArcGIS Pro is extendable. It has a number of extensions in the area of analytics and data management, and map production and charting. All extensions you had in ArcMap are ported to Pro. And there are new ones like Image Analyst extension, which provide tools how to extract valuable information out of a raw imagery, which has deep learning tools to do analysis or image extraction in machine level speeds. And for those who are in production mapping and charting area, Esri is finalizing to convert all the tools to ArcGIS Pro. So you should try convert your workflows to ArcGIS Pro and take advantage to a new and more productive tools available in ArcGIS Pro. Donatas, can I ask you to demonstrate what you like most about latest version of ArcGIS Pro?
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. And I'm going to show you some news in the newest and even upcoming release of ArcGIS Pro. So I will start with some news in mapping. Here I have a map with two layers. One is hill shading, another is a topographical map image. So I want to get a single map image containing both of these informations. Traditionally, you would use transparency to do that. Here I am increasing the transparency of a topographical image, and you can see one drawback. So as I increase the transparency of one layer, it disappears, showing the beneath layer. When I decrease the transparency, it goes back. Now, instead of traditional transparency, now we can use layer blending. These are functions which can blend several map layers into one single image, showing both at the same time with nice quality. As you see, I am turning on and off the layers, and you can clearly see that the combined map image clearly shows both of them at a single time. Now, the same technique can be applied even in a more advanced workflows. In this case, I took a 2D map image from a website of this protected area, and it doesn't show itself the beauty of its relief. It's Pavilnių Regional Park, and it's famous for its hills. So what I did, I added several layers of hill shading, slope, and actually combine them using blending into an image like this. The next example is this. I have topographical data. As you see, it's colored in random colors. And I want it to look like this example of an old-style scanned paper map. Now I can do that using a new technique called eyedropper tool. Eyedropper tool allows me to simply get a color from any point of the map. In this case, I am coloring the rivers or the backgrounds of the blocks. It's very easy to use and very sophisticated to do. In a matter of, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, I can make all my map appearing like that fragment from an old, early 20th century map. Now I will show you the final image for you to judge. And as you can see, it blends completely with the old example. Now I will show you some other thing. From Portal, I'm adding a feature layer to my map, and it is labeled according to those encoded values. As you see here, these are codes. And what I can do is I can use a powerful technique of Arcade to decode those values into meaningful information about the number of stories, about the purpose of building, of the material from which those buildings are constructed from, and so on. So as you can see it here. Now I will switch to layouts. In layouts, usually we add not only the map image, but also some supportive additional information like map legends. So a nice feature now is concerning map legends is the fitting strategy to use manual columns. So what I can do is I can specify the number of columns, and I can interactively control which layers appear in which columns, basically by moving them interactively manually. Another example. Here I have prepared a map layout, and also I have prepared a report layout. So these two can be combined together with a custom web map printing. I can publish this as a tool to my enterprise portal, and here I can have this functionality. I can select the protected areas in this map, and then I can execute the custom or adjusted web printing from this application. It calls the script, which will produce a PDF document containing not only the map image, but also an informative report on the objects or features selected in that map. Okay. Now I will switch to editing, and I will start with 3D editing this time. In this example, I have multi-patch objects created with software. And what we can do now, we can add related 3D files to these objects and edit them directly in any 3D editing software packages. In this case, I am showing this by simply taking one single object, a building, and changing its appearance to be mirror-like, to imitate the construction from glass and steel. So I am using a third-party software to directly edit multi-patches in my scene. Now I will switch to 2D editing. And in 2D editing, a nice feature to use is so-called inference lines. So when we are editing or creating features like buildings, normally their corners are at right angles. And those right angles means that when I have inference lines turned on, I can snap to additional helper lines which appear next to my sketch when I start editing. And in this case, I can produce a building which has right angles just interactively without any additional right clicks and so on. And the same applies not only to creating new features, but also reshaping them interactively. The next example is about routes. And route information can be also added using new route tools like Make Route. Here I have to select a road line. And from this, I can create a new route, which can be then calibrated interactively, providing new values. So can I do that? Calibrate the route, and it appears here. The next example I want to show is a new type of charts called matrix heat charts. These are their purpose is to show multiple relations between attributes in your map. So here I have traffic accidents in Latvia for one single year, and the chart shows multiple types of information. In color, you can see the driver's age. The columns are the producers of the vehicles, and you can see the rows are vehicles manufacture year. From this, we can see, for example, that BMW are driven usually by young people. These are mean values. Then we have Kawasaki, and maybe this Yamaha, also a bright yellow color. So that means young people are usually driving them. And we can see that charts are related to the map. And when I select it, I get those features selected on the map. If I take a look at Solaris, I will see very different image. These are all the drivers, and usually in city areas. So this is a new type of chart. Another new feature is this. Here I have thousands of points having numerical information. I want to aggregate that information based on those districts you see below. So usually to do that, we would run a spatial join tool, and we would need to do the same each time the information changes. Instead of that, we can now create so-called aggregation query layers to have a live layer which aggregates the information and shows the updates immediately when the data changes in those points. So the result is a polygon query layer. And now I will show you that this is alive. I have a script which updates the values on those points. And each time I refresh my map, you can see that these aggregated values change as well. This is a live query layer which aggregates information dynamically alive. And the last thing I wanted to show you is this. It's related to 3D interactive analysis. And for this, I am using the new high-resolution data from the Living Atlas. So very good quality data, 1 meter data is available from the Live Atlas. And we can use it in our projects and maps and scenes. Here I have a 3D scene. And in that scene, I am going to use an interactive elevation profile tool. I will draw a line, and it will produce me an interactive vertical elevation profile to see this terrain. Thank you. This is what I wanted to show you, those things which I liked the most in the newest ArcGIS Pro. Thank you.
Thank you, Donatas. That was really impressive. Now let's switch to 3D. ArcGIS is a complete platform for managing and applying 3D data. Its capabilities now seamlessly flow across the entire ArcGIS platform, from desktop to the web and to the mobile apps. Today you can work with a variety of 3D data, including point clouds and LiDAR, BIM, 3D models, and very large 3D meshes. You can also use 2D data to create compelling 3D visualizations and analysis. For advanced visualization, Esri is building a new plugins for game engines like Unity and so on, to compel and provide very nice augmented reality and virtual reality support. And it's not about 3D visualization only. It's also about analytics, interactive measurement, interactive viewsheds, and so on. Esri introduced new layer type called voxels for creating 3D volumetric visualizations and analysis, and continue to integrate a wide range of interactive analytical tools across ArcGIS. For example, ViewDome and Slice. ArcGIS is a 3D system. Means that you can perform 3D visualization and analytics across the platform in mobile devices and ArcGIS Earth on mobile phone or on a desktop, in ArcGIS Engine running on your computer or on mobile devices, and Pro, and in Scene Viewer, which is running in web browser, as well in a Story Maps, as well in Experience Builder. Chris mentioned about 3D becoming, ArcGIS becoming digital twins, and 3D becoming new system of record. As you saw yesterday, Estonian Land Board created the whole Estonian buildings in 3D. Lithuanian Center of Registers, which is responsible for real estate property, also exploring capabilities how property should be managed in 3D. Property which is visible above the ground, like buildings, premises within buildings, and property which is below the ground. As well, rights in 3D and restrictions in 3D. From 3D, let's move to BIM. This slide should be familiar for many of you. We showed it a couple years ago. There's a clear distinction between BIM and GIS workflows, while there is an overlap, collaboration between of two. And this overlap can create new processes where GIS is feeding BIM with a system of record data, 2.5D or 3D data, and data from new design travels back to GIS to be maintained in a system of record database. A couple of years ago, such a collaboration sounded like a vision, a promise. Now it became real. I will ask Leonas Jasevičius, who is representing Autodesk in Baltic countries, and who is one of top GIS BIM experts, to tell the story how BIM and GIS integration is applied in real-world scenarios.
Hello. Today I will talk about GIS and BIM integration technology based on real infrastructure project. This is bicycle and pedestrian road project which is developed by company Vilnius Planas. Why GIS and BIM integration is so important? As you can see, BIM processes are covering design and build phases in the project lifecycle. However, in operate, planning, asset management phases, GIS systems are usually used. So, integration between BIM and GIS is very important to have this continuous information flow. In BIM project, everything starts from employer information requirement, EIR. I have Vilnius municipality EIR document for the infrastructure project. Here we have requirements for the existing information. We have requirement for the common data environment or collaboration. As well, we have requirements about level of information. What information objects should have to use in later phases. Everything starts from existing situation model creation, where GIS data are used. In this case, you see InfraWorks software in which through the ArcGIS connector I can connect to Vilnius municipality GIS system. I will find project address. We'll select area of interest. Select the surface from the LiDAR data. And for sure, topographical surface can be used as well. I will configure it. I just need to select the resolution and I have a surface. As well, I will take water supply pipelines in the same area. Now you can see that all my pipelines are on the surface. So it's important that in GIS system elevation or depth of the pipelines should be entered. In this case, I will give depth for the all communication 1.8 meter. And I have existing situation model. Everything works similar in Civil 3D software. So I have ArcGIS connector as well. I can select the area of interest. I can add the surface. As well need to select the resolution. And I'm getting the surface. I will insert as well water supply system, pipelines. And I have configuration here as well, where I can add parameters for my pipe network from the source attribute data. And we have the same information in Civil 3D. Weighted models are stored in common data environment. In this case, we are using Autodesk Docs. And here we see Vilnius Planas real project for bicycle and pedestrian roads. And this project has different project parts or disciplines, and each discipline has its own catalogs, and here each discipline model is stored. As well, we have federated model. Let's open it. Here we see models for electrotechnical part, sewage, plants, and so on. And each model has its own attribute data. So let's see them. Now I will select lightning pole. And you can see that it has specific attribute data, height, type of the pole, and so on. As well, you can see the attribute data for the trees. Here is the type of the tree, is it existing or not, height, diameter, and so on. All these data should be transferred to the GIS system. Now I am in the ArcGIS Pro environment and will import models from BIM 360 docs. So first of all, I am creating new BIM connection, cloud connection to the docs. I am entering the name and adding my credentials. Now I'm able to see all my projects, and I'm selecting the right one. I'm selecting the right project, and I'm adding model from it. After import, I can see all the same model in my GIS environment, in my GIS database. As well, I have all attributes of these objects. In this case, it's manholes, and you can see that the system took all the attribute data, all the parameters of the pipe network, so name, styles, and diameters, coordinates, elevations, insertion elevation. So this data can be used later in the asset management or maintenance processes. In the same way, I can import another models, for example, light poles, signs, and so on. Same workflow is for buildings as well. I will add one building. Here I imported Revit file of Vilnius Tech Laboratory building. After import, as you can see, we can have all attribute data of object elements. Model has connection to common data environment, so it is possibility to have different level of detail models and to make different analysis. When we have all data in the GIS database, we can publish data to the 2D or 3D maps and use it for the operation purposes, asset management, maintenance, or reuse in another BIM projects. Here's the example of Vilnius city sign map, where we can see vertical, horizontal signs, as well attributes of the signs, numbers, what kind of the pole it is, pictures. As well, we can see area, type of the material, and so on. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Launas. That was impressive, and it shows how in real world this integration is being applied, how it's used. And it's not a theory, it's not a sample, it's an example from real life. Now let's switch to ArcGIS Online. ArcGIS Online is Esri software as a service solution for mapping and analytics and location intelligence. And it has been growing very rapidly over last years. More than 9 million users are using it on a daily basis. What can you do in ArcGIS Online? This is an online platform to share your work, your data, your maps. You are able to create a new web map, as you saw from Brita yesterday, and to be able to access those maps using a variety of apps, web apps, mobile apps, consume those apps in desktop apps, as Donatas has showed, consuming data from ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise in ArcGIS Pro application to perform fine editing, advanced editing that you cannot do in a browser, as an example. In ArcGIS Online, you can provide open data, create websites to engage and inform communities, inform stakeholders. And it's working in a cloud, so you don't have to worry about the infrastructure, maintain the servers, install and update apps, install and update the software. Esri is extending ArcGIS Online with additional functionality like ArcGIS Analytics for IoT, the new real-time and big data analysis capability for ArcGIS Online, where you can easily connect your IoT devices to see those in the map, as well analyze data feeds in real time or look for historical insights. Notebook extension lets you perform spatial analysis and run automated scripts without having to leave ArcGIS Online. Many of you like to build web apps, and Esri has free experiences for building an apps. One of them is Web Application Builder, and this has been the most popular one. According to Esri, there are over 1 million of Web App Builder apps in the last few years, only in ArcGIS Online, not counting what's happening in ArcGIS Enterprise. The second one is called Experience Builder, which Esri has been building for several years. It's a new generation web application builder. It's built on most modern technologies, web technologies that are fast, performant, easy to use. It's optimized for mobile. It integrates 2D and 3D into a single environment, and I encourage all of you to start exploring this capability. The third one is the third application builder is called App Studio, which in the past has only been available for developers, but now Esri made it available for all Esri users. App Studio allows you to build cross-platform native mobile apps that can be distributed within your company, like a portal or enterprise, or you can publish applications built with App Studio in just a couple of clicks to app stores like Google Play or Apple App Store. Now Elsa from Envirotech will demonstrate some of the latest capabilities of ArcGIS Online. Elsa, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Today, I will introduce you with the latest ArcGIS Online capabilities. Firstly, we are really happy that many Baltic users already use interactive maps and applications to share data to the public and also to use ArcGIS Online capabilities to work within the organization. You can find a lot of examples in the Living Atlas and also in the ArcGIS Online gallery. But before we start with the latest ArcGIS Online technology news, I would like to remind you that ArcGIS Online is an important part of all ArcGIS software components. For example, when we open ArcGIS Pro and we just add the data, we can easily add data straightly from our ArcGIS Online account or also from the Living Atlas. And if you have some data sets in ArcGIS Pro that you want to see in ArcGIS Online, of course, you can do that with just some clicks. You just need to choose the layer or the map and just share this data to ArcGIS Online. So in the end, what you see in ArcGIS Pro, you can also see in your ArcGIS Online account, the same map with the same data sets. Also, it's important to understand that within ArcGIS Online, we can work not only with 2D data, but of course, we can work also with 3D data sets. ArcGIS Online gives us the possibility to work in a scene viewer. In scene viewer, of course, we can visualize 3D data, but we have capabilities also to do some analysis. In scene viewer, we have different measurement tools. For example, with the latest ArcGIS Online April release, we have a new analysis tool, which is called the elevation profile. So we can just draw a profile where we would like to see the elevation data sets, and the elevation graph is just drawn automatically in our scene viewer. Also, we have, for example, the daylight tools. We can see how the shadows, how the light is changing in precise time and date. And if you have added BIM data to your 3D, to your scene, we also have a Building Explorer tool that allows us to easily click and change the data that we want to be seen or on scene viewer. But let's continue with the work with 2D data and the latest ArcGIS Online release. As Vytautas told, we have 3 important tools for building applications. And we would like to stress out the possibilities of the new Experience Builder. When you open your ArcGIS Online account, under the app launcher, you can easily find Experience Builder application. When you just click on it, the application builder opens up, and we can, again, with one click, start to prepare our first application. Esri provides us a lot of good templates that we can choose, which already have some functionality set. But if you are not happy or you do not like any template that Esri provides, we can of course start to make our first application from just a scratch. When we open this application builder, on the left-hand side, we see different widgets that we can add easily with just drag and drop functionality to our application. In this example, I chose to just add a simple map. And then when I chose this widget, I can select my map from my ArcGIS Online account, and I will find a cluster map that my colleague Britta made for our organization. I find this map into my content, and then I can just add it to my application. And important with the new Experience Builder, we do not need to worry about how many data do we have in our data sets. The application will show either you have 1,000 data or 10,000 data in your data sets. And what could we add more to this application? If I have chosen to demonstrate this cluster map in my application, I definitely should add a filter widget that allows me to divide the information about the data that I have on my map. We also in Experience Builder have a card widget that we can adapt, and we can see all the amount of data that we have into our feature layer. Also, in the Experience Builder, we have a table widget, and this table widget has a lot of new functionality with the latest release. We cannot add table not only about the data that we have on our map, but we can also choose to add tables from different data sources that we have in our ArcGIS Online account. And of course, there needs to be some additional information in our applications, whether it's a picture or embedded video or any embedded content, and Experience Builder allows us to do that also. But I would like to stress out the other possibilities with Experience Builder, the integration with different applications. And one of the most important configurations that we see that users use is integration with Survey 123 forms. Experience Builder allows us to build new Survey 123 forms, or we can use already existing Survey 123 forms. And now with the latest release, we have a really good functionality that can be found here on the right-hand side, send data to this survey. It means that I can link the fields from my map that will be automatically shown into my survey form. I will show you the result later on. Also, with Experience Builder, we can really easily integrate 2D and 3D data. And last but not least, Experience Builder allows us to configure the view, how the application will look into different devices. For example, if I know that my team, my organization will go to the field with precise device measurements or with the precise mobile phones, then I can configure the view how this application will look on this device. So let's see the result, what I have made with these integrations. For example, when I choose this building, I automatically see here on my survey that the survey took the information from my map. The site ID is hotel, and also the object is here on the map. And I hope you heard that I told about the 2D and 3D integrations, that here in my application, I have completed surveys, and I can press on the button, and then the 3D view of the map will be shown. So we really encourage you to try and test these possibilities that Experience Builder brings to you. But Experience Builder, of course, is not the only application builder that we have into our ArcGIS Online account. When you are in your organizational account and you press the button Create, we will also find the possibilities to use the configurable apps. Configurable apps are applications that already have set up functionality. You just need to understand what functionality is needed for you, and then with some clicks, you will prepare your first or second application. With the latest ArcGIS Online release, you will find a new name, Instant Applications, under this configurable apps possibilities, and we definitely encourage you to use these instant applications. For example, I chose to make just a simple interactive legend application with the same cluster map. And when we use these configurable application tools, with just 4 steps, we can prepare beautiful applications that we can share later on to our colleagues or to public. And when we have prepared these applications, usually people will ask, how can I know how many people have viewed my application and how many views I had, for example, in the last week? So of course, ArcGIS Online provides you this information. For every item under the settings page, you will find a usage of your items. You can choose whether the last week, the last month, and the statistics will change. But we want to remind you about the possibilities that you can integrate Google Analytics with ArcGIS Online applications. I have set up my Google Analytics account, and I have my tracking ID for this one application. I just need to copy my tracking ID from the Google Analytics account, and then I can again open the same configurable application. And in my configurable application here on the left-hand side, you can find web analytics possibilities. And I just need to copy my tracking ID And in the end, Google Analytics will be linked with my application. So as a result, I can get an additional statistics pages from Google Analytics. And I would like to end my presentation also by reminding the different collaborations that we have with ArcGIS Online, the latest release. Now the organization administrators can configure the partnered collaborations. All ArcGIS Online administrators can go to their settings page and they will find their collaboration possibilities. And with these partnered collaborations, we also have a new member role in ArcGIS Online, which is facilitator. So if you make these collaborations, you will definitely need to also add this facilitator role into your ArcGIS Online account. And I told you that that was the last thing I wanted to demonstrate. Of course, I have a stress, so I forgot the last presentation, which is really, really important, which is ArcGIS dashboards. I would like to say that in the last year during the pandemic, this was one of the most used application builders, not only in the Baltics, but I think all over the world. And we are really happy that with this April release, we can find ArcGIS Dashboards Beta moved to ArcGIS Dashboards. So under your application launcher, you will find ArcGIS Dashboards and ArcGIS Dashboards Classic. And we definitely advise you to use the new capabilities that ArcGIS Dashboards provides. So definitely choose this ArcGIS Dashboard application. And there are few important things about this latest release. With ArcGIS Dashboards, pretty often people ask us, can we not show this all detailed information when the application is opened? And now we have this functionality, select by attributes. We just need to configure the detailed list because under general information, now we have the items, no data and no selection. And I can choose no selection and just write a simple text. For example, choose object to get more information. So I configure my details list. And then I also need to configure my map because now under layer actions, we have the possibility render only when filtered. So I will choose this render only when filtered for my application. And now you see that on my details list, there is choose object to get more information. And when I will choose an object on a map, only then the detailed information will be shown. Also, with the new ArcGIS dashboards, we have more possibilities with arcade expressions. You definitely have heard this term already previously, and now we have arcade expressions also in the indicators list. We can open the indicator, enable the arcade expression, and for example, I can write a simple arcade expression. And in this scenario, I would like that my background color changes when the data is more than 1. So I can enable this arcade expression and we can see that the background color for my dashboard has changed, and it definitely shows me that I need to take some actions when the number is more than 1. Also, we can work with arcade expressions. For example, if we get information from devices with miles per hour, we can easily with arcade expressions change the information to kilometers per hour. And also, I would like to stress out that with these arcade expressions, we can really change the view and look to our dashboards. For example, in some cases, using average data sets is not an option because there can be extreme values that tilt the metric to one way or another. But now with the new ArcGIS dashboards under configuration, we also have the percentile statistics that removes these extreme values to our data sets. Also, for example, if we have some staging information in our data, we can really make beautiful visualizations with your data sets. For example, we had in our data logged, assigned, en route, or on scene. So you can probably agree that this visualization is much more better and understandable as a result. Or the simplest thing, if we have some pictures in our data sets with arcade expressions, we can really upgrade the view of our ArcGIS dashboard look. So we definitely encourage you to use the ArcGIS Online applications that allows you to share data between your organization or share it to the public. Thank you. Without us, the floor is yours.
We are a little bit behind our time, so I will try to be shorter. Now switch to ArcGIS Solution. Solution is the pre-configured maps, layers, apps, workflows that are designed to solve a particular tasks. And there are hundreds of them. And we are designed to work across ArcGIS ecosystem. In ArcGIS Online, in ArcGIS Enterprise, pre-configured solutions for Pro, mobile apps, and so on. And it takes only a couple minutes to deploy them, to deploy a solution. Once you have it, load with your data, and let the magic happen. Elsa, once again, I'm asking you to show how solutions can be applied. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready, and I hope you hear me well. So the ArcGIS Solutions is definitely a functionality that we would like to stress out to our Baltic users. The main important thing that ArcGIS Solutions is available to everyone who has their ArcGIS Online account. Again, the app launcher that I showed you before, you just need to open it, and there you will find an ArcGIS Solutions tab. When we open the ArcGIS Solutions, we see all the solutions that Esri provides. We can easily change these solutions by different industries, or we can go to each solution and just read information about it. Esri provides us this overview information, and of course, we can just learn more about this solution. And if we have chosen our solution, we just get it now, and the solution is uploaded into our ArcGIS Online account. I really would like to stress out this learn more information that Esri provides, because this is a really valuable documentation for everyone. We have in this documentation this information about the solution, about its items, but most importantly, in this documentation, we can find how to use this solution and also how to configure it. So please take a look into this documentation that Esri provides. But what happens when the solution is deployed into my ArcGIS Online account? So as you can see, I am in my content, and in my folder part, I have this solution, public parking. For this scenario, I chose to use the public parking solution that could work either for private organization, either for society, or either for municipality who wants to understand more about their parking places in their area. So in my content, in this folder, I see a lot of items, and if I do not understand how these items are linked, which feature, which layer is linked to which map, of course, in this folder, we have this item, public parking, the solution. It means that we have an overview of this solution, and we can easily see what items are in this solution and how they are linked. For example, in this solution, we have one application, one map, and one ArcGIS Hub page. So probably we should start to look into the parking field map. In this solution, we have a parking field map that is made for us to add new data sets. This parking map can also be opened with the Field Maps application, that if we are in the field, we can easily go and put these spots of the parking places or these paying stops. But you probably will ask, but I already have my data. I do not want to go one more time in the field and collect these data sets. So of course, Esri and ArcGIS Online provides you this functionality. We just need to open the feature layer that is linked with this map, and we have into ArcGIS Online possibility to update data. We can just update this data. In this scenario, I have a simple Excel file with these parking spots. So I choose it and I upload and continue. And this data will be shown into my map and most importantly, also into my application. So when I open the application that was included in this solution, we see that this application is built with Web Builder for ArcGIS, and it has a setup functionality. We can use the filter widget, or we can use the editing widget, add new parking stops, or change the information for already existing parking stops. And if I would like, I could definitely open the Web Builder configurator and add different widgets to this application. And last but not least, you heard that in this solution, we have an ArcGIS Hub page prepared. And when I open this Hub page, I can easily see what information, what text is already added in this solution. I saw in my items page that in this hub, we also have a survey integrated. So I can find this part, the parking satisfaction, and I can see that there is a button, share your experience. So I understand that in this part, we have a survey 1, 2, 3 form integrated. So I want to take a look into this survey form. I will open it. I can review the questions that this solution provides. If I'm happy with all the questions, I will definitely use this survey, or if I want to change something, I can easily go back and change this survey in my ArcGIS Online account. And if I want to change anything in this hub page, here on the left-hand side, I just have an edit button. I open the ArcGIS Hub editing part, and I can easily change a text, or I can easily edit the information or any part in the ArcGIS Hub page. So please take a look not only to previously shown application builders, but also take a look into ArcGIS Solutions part that is included into your ArcGIS Online account. Thank you for your time. Vytautas, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Elza. Okay. So you just seen how powerful ArcGIS Online is. So many tools, capabilities, so you can concentrate on creating a new information, products, instead of maintaining the infrastructure to run it. Now I would like to introduce new capability of ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Image. It lets you manage, visualize, and analyze imagery collections in a cloud. Imagery collections tend to be big, hundreds, thousands of gigabytes. They have to tend temporal component. Imagery needs to be processed to create or derived information products, and it should be dynamic and performant. Rather describing it, I will ask my colleague Tadas to show it live.
Thank you, Vytautas. So, hello everyone, and as Vytautas mentioned, with the latest release of ArcGIS Online, you can view, manage, and analyze your imagery collections in the cloud. Let me show you how. To start with, you can upload your imagery to ArcGIS Online. And with this, we have a new type of tiled imagery layer. In addition to being fast performing, it also supports all bit depths, multidimensional data, and multispectral imagery. So let's see an example of a tiled imagery layer. So in this example, I have a tiled imagery layer. It's made from planet data. And if I zoom in, you will notice tiles are loading. So even though this is a tiled layer, I still have access to all the bands. So for example, in this case, we have 4 bands, and I can change the band order to create a false color infrared image, where bright red color shows us green, lush vegetation. We also have a lot of new raster analysis tools, and these include, for example, data management tools where you can clip rasters. We have tools for working with elevation data. We have deep learning tools, to which we'll come back a bit later on. And we have raster functions. Now, raster functions are a way to process raster data to extract valuable information. You can create these functions within ArcGIS Online, or you can create them with ArcGIS Pro and then upload them to ArcGIS Online. It's very easy to create a raster function, so you just add one or more. You can connect them. When you create a raster function, you can save it and reuse it on multiple different images. So let me show you a function that I've created a bit earlier. This is a very simple function. It calculates NDVI values, extracts zones that are greater than 0.5, and then classifies the end imagery into two classes, basically showing us where we have the highest NDVI values. So when I enable this function, I get access to all the parameters. So before running the analysis, I can change the parameters. I can generate a preview image, and I can estimate how many credits it will cost me to run this analysis. So if I would run this analysis, I would get a new tiled imagery layer, and the result looks like this. So as you can see, using raster functions, we can extract valuable information from our data. Let's go back to deep learning for a bit. So as you saw, we have a few deep learning tools here. We have tools for classifying objects, classifying pixels, and detecting objects. In this case, since I'm using multispectral planet imagery, I would like to classify pixels. In this case, I have to choose a deep learning model that is used for pixel classification. This model can be a model that I made myself, like this model here. And it can also come from Living Atlas. So in Living Atlas, there are a few models that Esri offers that you can use with your own data. So for example, if I would have used Sentinel-2 imagery, I could have chosen this land cover classification model. In this case, I will use my own model. Once again, before running the analysis, I can check how many credits it will cost me. And when I run the analysis, I get this result, which is a classified raster. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Tadas. That was very short, comprehensive, and very clear demo what you can do using a browser, using an imagery. And this concludes our demos today. Tomorrow we are going to present ArcGIS Enterprise, IoT kind of things, utility network and web topology, web versioning. Finally, the new ways to collect and use imagery, as well deep learning capabilities. It will be an exciting day. Now we are open to your questions you have provided. So I saw one of the top of the question is for Donatas about query layers. And it sounds, is it something like a SQL view? And what is the performance on large data?
All right, so that tool actually creates a query layer, and a query layer is based on a SQL query. So yes, it is a SQL query, which is created by that tool. And the performance of it benefits greatly from using a spatial geodatabase. So in my case, I have used around 50,000 points and around 60 areas to aggregate. And the result actually could be calculated in milliseconds. So this is the performance I have seen and tested. And as a query layer, it can also be used as everywhere. You can publish it as a layer on your ArcGIS Enterprise and so on.
Okay, the next question is about when can we expect ArcGIS Pro 2.8? The plan is May, something mid-May, end of May. I saw a questions about Tulaunas. Where do you get data from? For example, water supply lines and elevation.
In Lithuania, we have open GIS data. So data from GeoPortal can be used. Some municipalities has open data as well, like Vilnius municipality. In my case, I was using data from Vilnius municipality, and they were shared to me specifically.
Okay, so the more data is open, the life is easier for architect or designer to consume. So if cities are going to implement the open data, So it will open a new opportunities. Question to you, Elsa. You showed ArcGIS Hub, and that's very nice solution. And how long it takes to open the data, to implement open data site using ArcGIS Hub?
Well, ArcGIS Hub allows us to really open the data with, I think, not more than 5 clicks. So you just need to log in into your ArcGIS Online account, find the ArcGIS Hub application, and you can easily start to prepare your open data set.
Okay, one question to Tadas. This exciting functionality of ArcGIS Image available online only, or you can do similar thing or ArcGIS Enterprise?
We could have done it years ago in ArcGIS Enterprise since we have image server. Okay. So that functionality is available there.
Okay, so additional question is about product naming. People like Survey123 name example, yeah, that's encouraging name. I believe I don't see, okay. Elsa, you spoke about using expression. I misheard the name of expression. Could you spell it out? What programming language it was used?
Yes, I use the arcade expression, and we can definitely add that also later to the precise expression that I used in this example.
Okay, question was for Donatas about providing list of tools. So he's working on this.
A very quick listing: layer blending multiply, eyedropper, arcade with custom code as well, legend fitting strategy manual columns, custom ArcPy script to export web map with reports, add 3D formats to multipatch to make editing 3D objects outside ArcGIS Pro, inference with create and reshape tools, make route tool, calibrate route, matrix heat charts, make aggregation query layer, which is going to appear on the next version of ArcGIS Pro, and also exploratory 3D analysis elevation profile tool. So these were tools I showed to you during the demo.
Okay, so I don't see any questions we should answer immediately. So to conclude, I would like to remind what Chris just mentioned about digital twinning. There is no single digital twin. There are multiple digital twins for electricity, water supply, for urban planning, and so on. So ArcGIS makes them work together as an orchestra, consume, share in 3 ways. That means system of record, system of engagement, and system of insights. I apologize for stepping out to your coffee break, and it was a pleasure to be here on a stage. See you tomorrow.